Hi, this is Burjo and I'm going to talk to you about the CrazyB4cube series and Crazy Two-Face series that's been presented by Arline and myself. I'm just going to talk you through how to disassemble the cube and how to create various faces. Now, to pull apart and make B4 bandaging pieces, let's start by pull out some of these components. Okay. And I use again my blunt stencil knife, and you just force it into one of the little cracks and give it a bit of a twist. So force it down into there or into there, and just pry it apart from the base of the piece, and those pieces will come apart fairly easily. It's about as firm as Lego, holding Lego together. And then I can use those pieces independently on different parts. So I might use it on this part and just push it in. You can push it in fairly firm like Lego as well, because you can use your knife and just put it into the base of the puzzle, give a little bit of a twist on all pieces to get it apart. So then you can get your fingers and just pull them apart from the bottom and they'll come apart. Please don't try to rip them apart from the tops or pull them apart without prying them from the bottom first. Just a little tiny twist with a hard stencil knife in there, not a flexible one. Mine's a bit stiff, not flexible. So it has a little bit of strength to pull them apart. Again, from this larger piece, just a little bit of a twist down the bottom will allow me to just move that open a little bit to get your finger in there and pull it out. And again, just gently pulling them apart. So all these pieces are interchangeable. First of all, I'll identify the faces. From the standard Crazy Planet 3x3 Plus series, we have the zero face, where the outer collar moves and the inner pieces stay stationary. From that same series, I'll have to show you on a different cube, because I don't have a one face on this cube. We'll have a one face here, where the outer collar and inner circle pieces move together. A two face is where they're permanently bandaged together. The outer collar and the inner circle pieces are permanently bandaged together and move together and remain together. A three face is where we've used a zero face centerpiece inside a two face, and the face is blocked unless the centerpiece is surrounded by zero face or circle face centers. So that's your description of 0 to 3 faces. I'm going to exchange some centers now and show you some of the centers that I've developed for the B4 bandaging series. To remove centerpieces, you just pull out one of these on each side of the centerpiece. Remove the cap. Unscrew the centerpiece. And take it out. I'm going to take the screw out of that. The additional centers that you receive in your kit 1 zero face center, 4 one face centers, and 4 modified centers. There's also 3 modified core components that match in with these modified centerpieces. The 5 face is the first one I'm going to talk about. So we're going to exchange this modified centerpiece. It's a 0 face centerpiece that's been cut off. And what it'll do is it'll make inner circle pieces act like 5x5 centers. The 5 face center works better without the spring and the washer, so I'll just remove those. Place the screw through. Replace these. And what is the 5 face? On the 5 face, the center spins independently and the outside twists as such. So the centerpieces actually act like a face of a 3x3x5, or like the centerpieces of a 5x5x5. The next face that I'll show you is a C1 constraining face. That is a 1 face that has a 90-degree constraining factor to it. And for that I'll be using this centerpiece here, which is a modified, well, it's got components of both 0 and 1 face, 1 centers, but the main component is a 1 face center with the little end part of it a modified part from a 0 face centerpiece. So I'll again pull my 2 inner edge pieces out, take my center cap off, and in this case it's going to involve a little bit more work. I'm going to need to remove a few more pieces. In order to get down into the core. Now I'm going to need to use, what I use is a hobby knife with a blunt blade. Now this blade's like really blunt and it won't cut the pieces. I just bury the hobby knife into there, give it a little bit of a twist, and out pops that part of the core. Now I'm going to replace it with one of my modified adaptions for the core. Place it in there, and then I'm just going to rebuild the cube. I'll place my center back in, but this time I'll exchange my center for my C1 constraining center. Place that center in. So C1 constraining is a 1 face that is constrained within 90-degree twists. And now I want to show you a little inherent problem with the new MF8 circle puzzle series in the black cubes that's not in the original multicolored series, multicolored plastic series, and that is that actually on the one faces, it is possible to force a turn on this center one face. I can actually force that to twist around. You can't do that on the original plastic, on the original coloured plastic series. No matter how hard you try, you can't get it to make an illegal turn. So because of that, on this puzzle here, that C1 constrainer, you can see that the piece is starting to flex apart here. You can force an illegal turn over the top. My puzzle's well lubed, so you'll see that happening. That's an illegal turn. That shouldn't be able to happen. It's not a problem with my modification. It's actually an inherent problem within the puzzle. I'm just going to pull a two-face apart, and I'm going to replace it with the same centerpiece that I used for the C1 constraining, the same type. I've put two in the kit so you can have two operating at the same time on the puzzle. So I'll just pull that apart. Replace the core component with the modified core component. Insert the modified core that we use for C2 constraining. And we have C2 constraining. A two-face that's constrained now within 90-degree twists. I've already got on my blue face here, I've already got, from when I made my C1 constraining face, I've already got a modified core component, so I won't need to change that. But this C5 constraining face does need a modified core component. But right now I'm going to show you C5 constraining. C5 constraining is where I use it's a modified zero face centerpiece. So I'll place that in there. And what that does is, you already know what a five face is. The C5 constrained is this piece, this centerpiece is here twist, but only at a 90-degree angle. The outside spins freely, but the inside is restricted by 90 degrees.